Welcome in, YouTube. Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. Let me add TikTok to the live stream. Come on in, come on in, come on in. If you are just joining us, smash that like button. Hey, Patty. I see Patty in the chat. You said I bought it in the stand store on March 19th. Well, shout out to you. Welcome to the winning team. Did you make it inside the FB community? Did you make it inside the FB community? So come on in, come on in. Hey, Renata. Welcome in TikTok. Let me bring FB to the chat. So happy Saturday, guys. I hope everybody is doing well. Oh, you definitely have to get inside the FB community. That's where you get your ongoing support on your journey. So I would highly recommend you join the community. So for everybody in the chat, once you become a student of mine through purchasing the bundle, you get ongoing support on your housing journey. So we're not just leaving you by yourself, but y'all have to physically request the FB. Okay, you said you subscribe, but you have to physically request the community because we have free monthly meetings that you can join and all of that. So welcome in, everybody. So YouTube, make sure you guys, when you come in, smash that like button, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome in TikTok. Y'all tap the screen. Let's get the hearts up. Let's get the likes up in the live. And FB, I don't know if anybody is in here, but if you are, make sure you guys say hello so I can shout you out and hit the hearts on the live stream. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Welcome in. If this is your first time seeing me live, drop new in the chat so I can shout you out. On this channel, I teach you guys how to not only make an impact in your community, but I teach you how to make an income for yourself. We get to the money on this channel, but we also do it in a way that pours back into our community, and we get paid for our purpose, and there's nothing wrong with that. You do not have to start a nonprofit to get paid from helping people. You do not have to have all this experience to get started in this business. So that's why I get on here and educate you guys and let you know what's possible for you. So welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Who is that? We got Russiany. Good evening. Hello, Patty. Hello, favorite Sage. Who else we got? Prejean said, can you use a 3-bedroom, 2-bath mobile home to start this business? Where are you located? What state are you? But I've seen people do this business with mobile homes. I have, absolutely. So TikTok, make sure you guys get the live stream up to 5K. Before we get started, I'm going to be teaching you guys how you can get paid from housing the homeless without having to be licensed, zone certified. You don't need to own no property. You don't have to have all this years of experience. My mission is I take everyday people and I turn them into impactful earners, impactful CEOs. I don't care what your background is. I don't care if you did 30 years in prison. I don't care if you got bad credit. As long as you got a business mind and a heart to want to help people, you can get paid for it in this business, which is starting your very own housing program. I've been doing this business since 2021, y'all. I'm based in Atlanta. I have a total of 6 houses and 49 beds. And guess what? I don't own any property, and I get paid for these locations that I own. So that I rent, actually. So come on in, California. So you definitely can do this in California. I have students that are up and running in California for sure. Hey Keisha, welcome in everybody. Welcome in TikTok. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the gifts. So TikTok, make sure you guys are tapping that screen. But a couple of rules of the live stream before we begin, before I teach you guys what you can be starting up in your cities and your states. Because honestly, I believe that independent housing is like the best kept secret that nobody is talking about. So many of y'all be stuck on group homes, personal care homes, and assisted living, and you don't know that there's another way out there for you. You can actually start your own housing program without having to go through the state, without having to be certified, without having 40K in the bank. You don't have to do all of that crazy stuff. Hold on, y'all. I got to get my charger from my laptop. But as long as you got a business mind and a heart to want to help people, you can thrive in this field. So come on in, come on in, come on in. And a couple of rules of the live stream. Number one, make sure you guys are smashing that like button. That shows me that you are listening and that you're enjoying the content. TikTok, you guys tap that screen. Get me up to at least 5K likes and we're going to get into it. FB, y'all show love by tapping the screen, hitting the hearts and the likes as well. And make sure you guys are commenting so I can see that you're in here because I don't know who's in here. But number two, When I tell you guys to type something in the chat, make sure you drop it because that's going to keep the live stream flowing and lets me know that you guys are paying attention. Hey, Lavendor. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Amber said, I wanted to turn my home into Georgia, into Airbnb, but now I'm rethinking this housing option. So here's the thing, y'all. Before I started my housing program, I used to do Airbnb. This is way better than Airbnb, and I'm gonna tell you why. But y'all gotta get the likes up to 5K TikTok. And everybody drop housing in the chat. So when I tell y'all to drop something in the chat, make sure you drop it because that helps me know that you're paying attention. And we about to get started. I'm gonna teach you guys how you can get paid from housing the homeless with no certification, no need to own property, no need to have 24-hour staff. As long as you got a business mind and a heart to want to help people, you can set this up in any city in any state. When I tell y'all, I got students all across the US that's up and running, doing their biggest one, and they're everyday people just like me and you. I have students that are single mothers that never started a business before. I got students that just came home from prison back in January, and he already got his very own housing program up and running. I got people that have bad credit. Listen, so that just proof to show you ain't got to be nobody special. I am not no nurse. I am not no CNA. I tell people I'm just a baddie with a business mind and a heart that love to help people, and I found a way to get paid for it. So now I come on here and I teach you guys how you can set these up in your cities and your states because there's a need for housing all across the US. Honestly, everywhere. We're in a housing crisis, y'all. So get in here, get in here, get in here. So you might be thinking, well, how am I going to get paid to house the homeless? First of all, I'm going to tell you guys what this is called. So I like to call it independent housing, but some people may call this independent living. Some people may call this co-living, shared housing. Some people may even call this like sober living. However, the key thing is that we are only offering housing only, y'all. So everybody drop housing only in the chat. I'm about to break this down for y'all to like a third grade level. So I'm gonna need you guys to really understand. We don't do confusion in my chat. I like to give you guys clarity. So when you are starting your own housing, independent housing, we are offering housing only. So let me tell you what this is not. This is not a group home. This is not a personal care home. This is not an assisted living. So, what does that mean for you? You do not have to be licensed, zoned, or certified. You ain't got to give nobody 3 meals a day. You don't have to bathe nobody up. And you don't have to have 24-hour care. When you focus on providing these individuals housing only, you don't have to go through go through the state, go through the city, and get set up because guess what? We are not offering them any services. So kind of think of it like Airbnb, y'all. So before I started my housing program, I was doing Airbnb. Do you think I sat there and called the city and was like, excuse me, do I have permission to set this Airbnb up? I did not do that. I went and got me a place, rented it out, set it up, made my money in peace, and kept it moving. There is nothing illegal about you providing safe housing to independent, high functioning adults. Everybody drop independent in the chat because I'm about to break it down even more for y'all. Drop independent in the chat because a lot of y'all be thinking in the mindset of a group home, personal care home. This ain't that. This ain't that. That's why anybody can come into this business and win. I don't care if you middle school educated. I don't care if you high school educated. So I have students that are felons. And that should tell y'all something. I don't know nowhere where a felon can open up a group home, personal care home, or assisted living. That's why I tell y'all, independent housing is the new wave. Starting a housing program is the new wave because anybody can win in this business. I don't care what your background is. I don't care if you somebody that is in recovery and you've been recovering from substances for about 10 years, you can start a housing program. You somebody that went through grief, you can start a housing program. You somebody that was in and out the foster system and you want to give back to your community and get paid for it, you can start a housing program. So that's just proof to show you guys, as long as you focus on providing independent adults housing only, anybody can set it up. You do not need to be a nurse. You do not need to be a CNA. I'm none of those things. So once you focus on providing these people housing only, you don't have to go call in the city. Excuse me, do I got permission to house 6 unrelated? Stop doing that. I give my students the blueprint step by step. And I'm not telling y'all what I think. I'm telling y'all what I know because I'm doing this business currently. I've been having my housing program since 2021. I'm based in Metro Atlanta. And guess what? I got 6 houses and 49 beds. Can't nobody clock my tea. The city cannot clock my tea. Hello? There's nothing illegal about providing safe housing to independent adults. So I want you guys to keep that in your mind. Now, you might be thinking, well, what is a housing program? What is a housing program? So I like to tell you guys, think of a housing program like an Airbnb. If you've ever stayed at an Airbnb, drop a 1 in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat if you ever stayed at an Airbnb, because I'm about to kind of make a comparison so you guys can know what this is and what this is not. Now, when you're staying in somebody's Airbnb, guess what they have? They got house rules. You have to follow that person's house rules. You can't be having all these extra guests. So whatever rules they set for that house in that Airbnb, that's what you have to abide by. And if you don't, guess what? They're going to call, excuse me, you need to leave the premises. If you don't leave, they will have the police escort you off the premises. It's the same thing with starting your very own housing program. You set the tone for your housing program. So we are providing safe and structured housing to individuals in need. So when it comes to starting your housing program, you have to have rules in place for these people. Everybody drop rules in the chat. Everybody drop rules in the chat. So this ain't no trap house. This ain't no boarding home. This ain't no, we have to have structure in our homes. And that's what helps you have more control over your property. So that's what I'm telling y'all. Anybody can start a housing program. Think of it like an Airbnb. Whatever rules you want to set for your housing is what your people is going to follow. And I always tell people, so you can make your housing program as strict as you like, or you can make it as lenient as you like. Some people set up their housing program based on their personality. For example, me personally, I run a strict program in real life. So my housing programs are a little strict. Well, they are strict. However, my people love it there. Even with the rules that we have for my people, they still follow them because believe it or not, y'all, the individuals that we serve and that we house, they need rules. They need structure. Maybe people like me and you wouldn't want to follow no rules, but when we're housing a certain demographic, they have to follow the rules. If not, guess what? They're going to be back to the streets. So that's what I tell you guys. We are safe and structured housing. So whatever rules you want to set is what you set. There's really no right or wrong way to structure your housing program. But let me say this. When you don't have rules, just know that them people will be wilding out. Just know that. And I always tell people, there's a thin line. And when y'all be like, oh, this is like a boarding home, this is like a rooming house, I hate that word. And let me tell you why. YouTube, you guys hit the thumbs up on the live stream. Thank you. Thank you. Smash that like button. TikTok, let's get the live stream up to 5K. We're not moving on the likes. FB, y'all hit the hearts as well. So back to what I was saying. Now, when these people don't have rules, y'all, they'll be wilding out. A lot of y'all be like, oh, so this is like a rooming house, this is like a boarding home. I hate that word because number one, in them boarding homes, there's a thin line between a boarding home and a trap house. I don't teach you guys to set up trap houses. And inside of them boarding homes where people just renting out rooms, guess what? They don't have to follow no rules. Them people be in there doing what they want to do, getting high, sneaking people in the house. And inside of those boarding homes, they do shared room. No, they do private rooms. So the business model that I teach you guys how to set up your housing program, we are doing shared rooms. Everybody drop shared in the chat. We are doing shared rooms, y'all. So what shared means, we're putting a minimum of 2 people in one room. This ain't no private room. So that's why this is not a boarding home or a rooming house. Most of the time, them rooming houses, they just rent by the room. And guess what? Them people ain't got no structure. They wilding out. They sneaking people in the house. They tearing stuff up. They getting high. This ain't that. This ain't that. This is real impact being made because we're offering a safe and structured living environment. They can't come into our housing programs and do whatever they want to do. No, it's not happening. Derek said, not the trap house. Exactly. They be running trap houses. I don't teach my students to run trap houses. I teach you guys to make a difference and get paid for it. So we do shared rooms in this business model, y'all. Now, you might be thinking, well, how does a homeless person have money to pay for housing if they homeless? If you're wondering how we get paid in this business model, drop how in the chat. Drop how in the chat if you're wondering, well, how y'all get paid? Because a lot of people, Y'all think that you got to get paid through grants. You think you got to get paid through the state, but that's not the case when you're starting your own housing program. Now, drop how in the chat. I don't know if my comments is stuck on TikTok. I don't see nobody commenting nothing. TikTok, can y'all hear me and see me? Is my connection okay? Okay, there. It's kind of, my stuff is kind of frozen. Okay, perfect, perfect. Now, if you thinking how we get paid in this business, number one, this is called private pay. So what does private pay mean? Private pay means that the individuals that we house pay us directly. Empress said my boarding home is strict, but yeah, I don't like that word either. I'm cracking. I know that's right. Period. Where are you located, Empress? So yeah, some boarding homes, I guess everybody have different rules in place, but when I think of a boarding home, I'm thinking of like people wilding out, they sneaking people in the house, they getting high. And listen, y'all, when I first started this business, my biggest mistake was doing them private rooms because they was going crazy. That's why I don't really care for private rooms because there is no structure. It keep freezing. Oh man. That's why my engagement kind of sucks on TikTok. Is it freezing for anybody else on TikTok? Is my video freezing? YouTube, am I okay? Is my connection okay over here? I don't know what's going on. Hey Tania. Just open. Derek says, just open my first transition living house in Jersey through parole and probation. Shout out to you. Let's go. Shout out to you. It keeps freezing. Oh man. Oh no. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure I'm connected to the right Wi-Fi. I'm connected to the right Wi-Fi. Why is it doing that? Am I okay on YouTube? Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, I don't know what's going on TikTok, but it's showing that the connection is green. Hopefully y'all can hear me, but am I hiring? No. Listen, y'all, when it comes to starting your housing program, you don't need staff. Y'all, a lot of y'all be thinking in the mindset of like a group home. You really don't need staff for these houses because they run itself. They run itself, and that's why I teach my students how to structure it a certain way where you don't have to be paying nobody. Listen, y'all, I have 6 houses and 49 beds. I didn't hire help until I got to house number 6. So I was managing my 5 houses by myself. Like it's not hard. And honestly, you would think that you need to be at your houses every day, but you really don't. Some of my houses ain't seen me in months. Some of my houses have not seen me in months at all. Is the connection still messing up TikTok? I might have to end and come back. So back to what I was saying, how we get paid. All right, how we get paid. I want y'all to understand this. Number one, this is private pay. And private pay means that the people that we house pay us directly. A lot of y'all, when y'all hear homeless, y'all thinking these people don't have money. You thinking that good on YouTube. Okay, thank you, David. Y'all thinking that these people don't have money, but I only teach my students to go after and house individuals with money. And listen, y'all, there are so many homeless people that get money every single month. Now, what are the sources of income of people that you want to house? You want to get people that get a check every single month. So what does that look like? Social Security, disability, VA benefits, retirement. And some of these people even work jobs. Now, I take some of everybody. So there is no certain demographic that you just need to go after. Listen, as long as I got that money, you need to be housing them. And that's just that on that. Is it possible for me to manage from Jamaica? So, Melissa, where would you be starting your housing program at? Because honestly, y'all, this is not 100% hands-off business. You're going to need somebody that's boots on the ground at your housing program because what happened if something go down? And things happen in this business. Like there was a time where I don't know if y'all remember when Hurricane Helene, but in the middle of the night, a tree fell through the roof at one of my duplexes. So in the middle of the night, I had to get up and go all the way down there, get my guys out the house because the fire people said it was unsafe for them to stay there because that tree was like right through the roof. So you have things that have happened. So if you don't have no help or nobody that can get to the houses for you, is you know, you might not have no business. I have family in Maine. Okay, good, good. So yeah, as long as you got some type of support system or family, you definitely can start this from out of state. So yes. Empress said I have some stories too. They can be something else. I'm so happy to see more people. Yeah, they definitely got some stories for real, for real. All right, TikTok, let's get the likes up to 5K. Let's get the likes up to 5K. Do you house men and women in the same house? Yeah, yes and no. Yes and no. So there are some people that do co-ed housing, but me personally, I like to do men only housing, women only housing. Why? Because that keep down the drama and it's just better for me. Now, I do have one house. Let me say this though. When I first started, my hey Tara, my biggest mistake was mixing them. And the only reason I mixed them, y'all, because I was desperate. I was desperate for my first house and I was just trying to get them beds filled. So I mixed them with men and women. That was the worst thing I could have ever did because they was in there sleeping with each other. One of the ladies caused another guy to move out. His girlfriend found out. I do not recommend that. Maybe I did it wrong because they was just a crazy age, but I don't recommend. Now I do have one co-ed house, but they're older. So that might make a difference. But back to what I was saying, y'all. You want to house individuals with money. Everybody drop money in the chat. Money in the chat. Money in the chat. So we are not housing nobody that when y'all be hearing homeless, y'all think I'm telling y'all to go to the street corners and house the people that with the signs up. No, we not housing them. We not housing nobody that's strung out. We're not housing nobody that don't have no money. We are running a business. So this is a for-profit. I'm not teaching you guys to start up nonprofits. The way that I structure my housing program is as a for-profit. So we get paid for what we do. This is not charity work. I teach you guys how to get paid. Yes, you can get paid for your purpose and still make a difference. There is nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So we are only housing independent adults that get money every single month because that's what's going to keep you paid and that's what's going to prevent you. Because a lot of y'all be like, what if they don't pay? Listen, when you're housing the demographic of people that get a guaranteed check every single month, you don't have to worry about them running off on you. It's just not going to happen because they rather, and honestly, if they don't pay you, it's because they found somewhere else to go and they're going to take their money somewhere else. But it's not like they're going to just not pay you and they're going to still stay in your house and squat. That you never have to worry about that from people that get a guaranteed check. Now, you trying to house all them working people, that it gets a little sticky. So I don't recommend you guys to fill your house up with just straight working people. It's not going to be good for you. So out of all 49 of the beds that I have currently, only 4 of my people work a job. And that's how you want it. You never, if you want your housing program to be stable, you're going to have to fill your house up with people that get stable money. Stable money. Everybody drop stable in the chat. Everybody drop stable in the chat. Once you get your course and get your business, when you get your business, what? I don't understand that. So we are only housing individuals with stable income. So what does that look like? I'm gonna repeat it again for y'all. Social Security, disability, VA benefits, and retirement. And some of these people work jobs. All right. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys the best populations that you want to start off with housing because there's a lot of misinformation on the internet. And y'all thinking that, oh, I only want to house this demographic. But if you want to make some money and you want your housing program to be successful, then you're gonna have to open your mind up. So everybody in the chat, if you could house one demographic in your housing program, who would it be? Drop it in the chat. So when I first started my housing program, I wanted my housing program to be strictly for guys coming home from prison that needed to get their life back on track, help them get employed, help them, get stable. So Awakening said veterans. Who else would y'all want to house in your housing program? If you was to start a housing program, what demographic would you want to serve in your program? For me, it was the guys coming home from prison. That was it for me. Melissa said homeless with money, period. Loner said people in prison. Who else? Who else? TikTok? Who else? Vets. Okay. Vets is a hot topic. Seniors, period only. So let me say this, y'all. The most popular ones that people want to house is the veterans, of course, seniors. And the only reason y'all be wanting to house them is because y'all think they're getting like a whole bunch of money every single month, but that's not the case. And here's the thing, when you're first starting out, if you're limiting yourself to just one demographic, you're going to fail before you even start. Because that was the biggest mistake I made in the beginning. So when I first started out, I was only housing guys coming home from prison. But when I realized that these guys was running off on me without paying, I was sitting here 2 months in the red having to pay rent because they was running off. I was helping them get jobs. I was sitting here helping them get their ID, overworking myself, offer them to get a job. And when they get that first check, they was out of there. So that's why I tell y'all, the people that you think you're gonna start out with, or the population that you think you're gonna start out with, that might not be who you end up with. So let me tell you guys the different demographics that you can house in your housing program. So you can house seniors, of course. You can house veterans. You can house people coming home from prison. You can also house people that are transitioning from homelessness. So they're just living from place to place. You can also house people that are living with HIV. I house that population. I also house people that are, what else? What else? People in recovery. So if they're recovering from substances or alcohol, you can house that demographic because they need housing too. Now, anybody that's disabled that can live independently, you definitely want to house them. So I tell people, when you are just starting your housing program, you want to provide housing to all individuals. So everybody type all in the chat. Type all in the chat. Hey, Unique, type all in the chat. Was there a certain type of felon you wouldn't accommodate? Listen, y'all, I take everybody. When I tell y'all I take everybody, that's why I tell y'all you want to take all people. Listen, y'all, we are not in this business to be picky against these people. We are really second chance housing. If it's not for housing programs like us, these people that we house and that we serve, they would either be on the streets, in a shelter, or in a jail or prison. There's really no in between. When you guys start your housing program, I want you to get out of that judgmental mindset. You are here to bridge the gap of homelessness for these people. A lot of these people, they don't have nobody to take a chance on them. So who are you to deny somebody housing? We are really in the business to change lives. Yeah, we making money, but we also are offering second chance housing to people in need. So you might be thinking, well, if a person is homeless and they got money, why don't they just get their own place? And here's why they don't get their own place, y'all. Number one, somebody said recession proof. So just do that part, Michael. Yeah, this is definitely a recession proof business. Now, let me tell y'all why the people that we house can't just go and get their own place. Number one, a lot of them are on a fixed income. Everybody dropped fixed in the chat. These people are on a fixed income, which means they don't qualify to make 3 times the rent. They only get one set amount of money every single month. Imagine having to live on a certain amount of money and you barely could pay rent. So where does that leave them people? They have to be in shared housing or housing programs. These people are on a fixed income. Another thing is that they have backgrounds. So we housing people that's on parole, probation. A person on parole or probation, they would never be able to rent from a traditional landlord. It's just not happening. And another thing, they got bad credit. So when it comes to housing these individuals, they don't qualify for traditional housing like you and I do. So that's why these housing programs are so needed in our communities, because we are really bridging the gap for these people, y'all. We really are. Because if it's not for places like us, I always tell my students and I always tell my people, if it's not for housing programs like us, the people that we serve, they would be either be in the streets, in a shelter, or in a prison or jail. There's really no in between. So we are a step up from the streets. We're a step up from the shelters and the prisons. So that's why independent housing is so needed. You have to start a housing program. TikTok, let's get the likes up to 5K. It's kind of slow on the likes tonight. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna need to see 5K likes if y'all want me to continue. YouTube, make sure you guys smash that like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. FB, make sure y'all hit the hearts on the live stream too. Y'all not exempt. But yes, so we are offering second chance housing to these people, y'all. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. So you might be thinking, well, how do I get started? Can I rent or can I own these properties? So I want to see who's in the chat. If you own property, I want you to drop a 1. If you don't own property, I want you to drop a 2. Because I'm gonna let you guys know who can start a housing program. So if you own property, drop a 1. If you don't own property, drop a 2. Period. Michael, where are you located? Who? Okay, period. Period. We got a lot of tools. We got a lot of tools this live stream. Period. Shout out to the homeowners in the chat. I know that's right. Here's the thing, y'all. I don't own not one property. So you don't have to own property to do this. So I have 6 houses. And guess what? I rent all 6 houses with permission. Everybody drop permission in the chat. So I get permission from my landlords and from my property management companies to run my housing programs in these rentals. So we have full permission. There is no funny business going on. The landlords love it. They know what we do and they love what we do. So that's why I teach you guys what to say to these landlords and to these property management companies so you can have your way. When I tell y'all I be having my way with these landlords and these property management companies, I really do. Thank you for the gifts. I really do, y'all. And that's what I teach my students. I teach you guys in my program what to say to these people and how to go in there and talk your stuff, because a lot of y'all be saying the wrong things. That's why you need to learn from the realists. Learn from the realists in the field. I'm gonna give it to y'all straight every single time. And that's why I have students, y'all, that are felons. I have students that are felons that got housing programs. One of my top students, y'all, she is a felon and she got 3 houses up and running and they're all filled. So that's just proof to show you that it doesn't matter about your background. It don't matter if you a felon, if you got bad credit. Because a lot of y'all might be thinking, well, my credit not good. You don't need credit. When I tell y'all I pitched my property management company so good when I was telling them what I do, they did not ask me for a bank statement. They did not ask me for a credit check, and they didn't even ask me for a background check. So that's what I teach you guys. When you are going in there and you providing value to these property owners and to these property management companies, they're not about to ask all that. The only thing that they asked me when I pitched them so good, when I tell y'all they was eating it up, everything I was telling them, they was eating it up. The only thing that they asked me was, do you have first month rent and do you have deposit? I said, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's just proof for y'all. You have no excuse of why you can't start a housing program. I don't care if you don't own property. You don't need to own property. Now, for the ones that say that they own property, that's even better, because guess what? You ain't got to get permission from nobody to do what you doing your stuff. This is your stuff. Can't nobody clock your tea. And that's why I tell people, can't nobody clock my tea. Not the city, not the landlord. I'm really having my way. So that's why I teach my students how to have their way when you start your own housing program. Because honestly, y'all, what we're doing, we're actually helping our community. We're giving these people a safe, structured place to call home. We're not setting up trap houses in the middle of the neighborhood and terrorizing the neighbors. Our people, they move like they got some sense. That's why I tell y'all, you want to have structure in your housing programs. When you are doing a great thing for your community and your people are not wilding out and not terrorizing the neighborhood, who would know that your house is a housing program? And let me say this, y'all, nobody should know from the outside looking in. If y'all was to ride past one of my houses, you would never look at the house and be like, oh, that's a housing program right there. That's exactly how your house should be. It should be look like a regular house, like every other house on the block. Now, if your house is sticking out like a sore thumb and you got people trapping in the front, now you got a problem. The city gonna come knocking on your door. That I don't teach y'all that nonsense. I do not teach all that nonsense. So we are offering safe and structured living in our community. And as long as you are doing right by these people, which means you're providing them a safe and comfortable place, nobody's getting mistreated. It ain't no trap running up in there. You ain't got no rodents infestation and all that. Nobody's gonna bother you. And I'm not telling y'all what I think. I've been doing this business since 2021. The city can't clock my tea, y'all. The city came to my house one time and it was for a reason. And if you're one of my students, I tell my students that story of why the city came to my house. It was something that could have been prevented. And that's why I teach my students, you want to have certain type of rules in your program, because as long as you're running a safe and discreet house, nobody would never know that, oh, this is a housing program. Nobody should know, y'all. Nobody should know. Run you a good program, make your money in peace, and take care of your people. Simple as that. Simple as that. So now the moment you start be getting greedy and start running the trap house, oh yeah, the block is going to be hot for you. We don't do that. I don't teach y'all that. We actually impacting our community and we not terrorizing our neighbors. We are not terrorizing the neighbors or with our people. Michelle said they told me I need zoning for certain areas. Michelle, are you one of my students? Because if you are, you wouldn't be saying that in this chat right now. Because none of my students need a zoning. When I tell y'all I've taught over 3,000 students independent housing. And I have students in every state in the US. I have students with houses up and running in Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Michigan, New York, New Jersey, Cali. So these people didn't need no zoning. I didn't need zoning. A lot of y'all sitting here piece together all this free information online, and you listening to somebody that's telling you to start a group home, and now you confused. You calling the city. Do I have permission to start this group home? They're gonna be like, oh no, you need to get zoned. That's because you're not saying the right thing. You're not saying the right thing, and you're not following the blueprint that I set out for you. My students follow my blueprint. They don't have no issues. Hello? That's why you need to tap in with the queen that's going to get you right. I've been doing this business since 2021. Zoning cannot clock my tea. Yeah, Keisha is in Michigan. I got students with houses filled in Michigan too. So what are we talking about? Clearly, you learning from the wrong source, but we never had to go to no zoning for what we do, y'all. There's nothing illegal about providing safe housing to independent adults. Nothing illegal about that. Now, back to what I was saying. Do you put TVs in the share room? No, I don't. Nope, I do not. Now, back to what I was saying. When you focus on providing safe and structured housing to these people, nobody's going to bother you. The city can't clock your tea. Now, the moment y'all start doing what I tell y'all not to do, you in there cooking them people 3 meals a day, you in there bathing them up, giving them medications. Now the city going to come knocking on your door and they're going to shut your tail down, and you deserve that because nobody told you to do that. I don't teach my students to start group homes. I don't teach my students to start personal care homes. That's why I tell you guys, we provide housing only. Drop housing only in the chat. I'm going to need for y'all to get that through your head. We are not sitting here bathing nobody up, cooking 3 meals a day. The minute you start doing all that, now you are moving like a group home. Now you are moving like a personal care home. Derek said your delivery is everything. You don't sound like a con. Ain't nothing con about this. Listen, I'm the realest in the field. That's why I go live every single day. Can't nobody clock my tea on this internet because nobody goes live and is consistent like me. I'm different. I'm just built different. Hello? My students know. That's why I have so many success stories out of my students, because I'm really real. And I really do this business in real life. There's a lot of people that get online and they teach housing, but they're not even in the field. They don't even have 1 or 2 houses. They just teaching something that they took from somebody else's course. I really do this. I have 6 houses and 49 beds. Can't nobody clock my tea. Can't nobody clock my tea. And I teach you guys how you can set up your very own housing program in any city, in any state. There's homelessness everywhere, y'all, not just in major cities like Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta. It's not just homelessness in major cities like Atlanta. There's homelessness everywhere. Everywhere. I have students that are in rural areas that you would think is like the country, and they got 2, 3 houses up and running. So that should tell you something. As long as you got homeless shelters near you and people that need a place to call home, you can set this up. You can set this up. So I'm not telling y'all what I think. I'm telling you what I know. And I have so many students that have followed my blueprint and they have went off to the races and got 2, 3, 4 houses. The proof is in the pudding. So that's just that on that. Now, let's get into how much money you can make in this business, right? Now, I teach you guys how to get paid by the bed. They can't hide the con. That part. So, in this business, starting your housing program, I teach you guys how to get paid by the bed. Everybody drop bed in the chat. Drop bed in the chat. I'm not teaching you guys to rent out private rooms. I'm not teaching you to put your stuff on FB Marketplace. I'm not teaching you to put your stuff up on no pass split. This ain't that. We get paid by the bed in this business, y'all. So what does that mean? By the bed, I teach you guys to do shared housing. So we are putting a minimum of 2 individuals in 1 room. So everybody drop their 2s in the chat. We're putting a minimum of 2 individuals in 1 room, y'all. So with that being said, let's say you have a 4-bedroom. You should be able to have at least 8 people in that house. You should be able to have at least 8 people in that house. If you have a 3-bedroom, you should be able to have at least 5 to 6 for it to make sense for you financially. So we are doing the shared model, guys. Now, you might be thinking, well, why would a grown person want to share a room? Listen, the demographics that I house, y'all, they love them shared rooms because a lot of times them seniors, they need that community. The veterans, they enjoy that community living. So there are demographics of people that don't mind the shared room, but you have to go into your community and find those people. You got to go into your community and find those people. Now, now, if you're trying to house a house full of working people, oh, it's not going to work. A shared room is not going to work for a working person. That's why I don't even tell y'all to mess around with them. Now, I take that back because I do have some people that work that are in the shared room, and it just depends on the person. Now, if you acting like you too good for a shared, this ain't the place for you. The way we make our money, y'all, is through shared rooms. You're not gonna make no money from no private room. When I was doing a private room, the most money I was making from that private room was like 950 to 1,000. You're really losing by renting out private rooms. And another thing about them private rooms, hey Robin, another thing about them private rooms, y'all, them people be entitled. They thinking that, oh, I pay my rent. I ain't got to listen to what you say. No, them people in them private rooms are too entitled. When you are doing the shared housing model, you have more control over your property. Listen, there's accountability in them rooms. Some people ain't about to be in there getting high with another person in the room with them. Cause when I first started out, y'all, I had people in there getting high. I had one lady, she was prostitute, and she had about 20 guys in one night in a private room in the middle of the night. So that's what you get from renting them private rooms. Nothing but headache. Nothing but headache, and it's not even worth the money. So why do it to yourself? Do the shared living model because number one, those people are more grateful to even have a roof over their head because they really have nowhere else to go. And with the people that we serve, y'all, they be in them shelters sleeping 50 people in one room. So when they get into a room and it's only one other person, they love it there. They love it there. So we're actually doing a great thing for our people. So yeah, don't sleep on the shared rooms now. Do not sleep on the shared rooms. So we're putting a minimum of 2 people in one room and we get paid by the bed. So I want y'all to remember that. Now, you might be thinking, well, how much can I get paid for the bed? Now, I'm gonna break it down for y'all. So I'm based in Metro Atlanta. My bed price is $750 a month. However, I've seen people charge anywhere between like 500 a month all the way up to 1,500 a month per bed. So I want everybody in the chat to drop their cities and I'll let you guys know what my students are charging for your area because I got students all across the US. So everybody drop their cities in the chat and I'll let you guys know what my students are charging. I'm in Metro Atlanta. I charge $750. So Philly, they charging about $750 to $800 per bed. Atlanta about $750 to $850. Houston is about $600 to $750. Somebody said North Carolina. North Carolina is about $650 to $750. Connecticut about $850 to $950. New York City. New York City is a bit tricky because the cost of living is super high out there. Phoenix is about $850 per bed and up. In California, it's about $950 per bed to $1,000 per bed, just depending. Chicago, about $850. Now, so what's going to determine what you can charge for your housing program for your, per bed? Number one is going to determine the cost of living in your area because some areas is higher to live than others. And I got students in upstate New York that's up and running, and they charge anywhere between $850 to $950 per bed. So it just depends. Now, what's going to determine how you price your bed for your housing program? Cali is about $950 to $1,000 per bed. So what's going to determine how much you charge for your housing program? Number one is the cost of living in your area. Number two is going to determine what the people that you house can afford. Now, let me give y'all some perspective because I know it's a lot of cap on the internet of people saying, oh, you can get paid $1,200 for veterans. You can get paid $1,500 for veterans, $1,200 for people coming home from prison. And that's not true. That's all cap. That's all cap. Now, I charge $750. I'm in Metro Atlanta. However, I do have some people in my housing program that pay me $1,000 per bed, and I do have some people that pay me $1,200 per bed. So those people can afford to pay that, so they pay a little higher, and then I do a little more for them. Now let me give y'all guys some perspective, right? So most of my people are on a fixed income, which means they only get one set amount every single month. Most of my people, they get Social Security and they get about $943. So that's why I charge $750. Now, if your people where you at get about $1,800, of course you would price your bed a little higher, but it got to make sense. Y'all can't be greedy and outrageous. So it has to make sense for the individual that you house. You still got to lead them with some money to, get their little hygiene and things like that. So still be reasonable and decent, y'all. Now, you might be thinking, well, what is included in that bed price? So I like to relate what we do is like all I like to call it all inclusive housing. I like to travel, so I relate everything to traveling. So kind of like an all inclusive resort. However, the only thing that we don't do as like a resort, we don't provide food. So everybody type no food in the chat. You do not have to provide these people food. Now, in your bed price, drop no food in the chat because I want y'all to understand. You ain't gotta be in there whipping them up 3 meals a day and making sure that listen, these are grown adults. They know how to fend for themselves. They know how to go in that kitchen and make them a sandwich, make them something to eat. So no food is included in your bed price. You don't have to provide them food. The minute you start doing all that food stuff, listen, now you're moving like a group home, personal care home, and you're gonna need a license. I teach you guys how to set up your housing program with no license, no zoning, no certification needed, but you have to follow the blueprint that I teach you to stay compliant. The minute you start doing all this extra stuff, you're going to be in trouble. I promise you. So we are not providing food in our bed price. So our bed price pretty much includes everything like the utilities, a fully furnished home, and it's safe, it's structured. So that's what we're giving them. So the only thing that they bring in when they come in is the clothes on their back and whatever clothes that they have in a suitcase. So everything is set up for them. So kind of think of it like an Airbnb. So only thing your job is as a housing program, as a housing provider, is to provide them the environment already set up and ready to go. That's the bed price, y'all. You don't got to take them to their appointments. My people, the most place I take them to is to that bank. That's the only place I'm really taking them to because I'm not doing all that extra stuff. They know how to get their rides. We got public transportation, we got Uber, we got all that stuff. It's not your job to sit here and transport people from A to Z. You ain't got to do all that. They can find other ways to get to where they got to go. Now, when it comes to getting your money, yes, you better take them to that bank if you want to get paid. And that's just that on that. Hello. So yeah. So the bed price is just that fully furnished home with utilities included. Now, um, let's talk about how much one house can bring you in a month because a lot of y'all don't know that. Honestly, y'all, one house is life changing for a lot of people. I know for me, one house was enough for me to leave my 9 to 5 and like focus fully on housing. Now, everybody that's in this chat, I want you guys to tell me in the comments how much money would you need every single month to be comfortable and live comfortably? Is that 8K a month? Is that 10K a month? Is that 12K a month? I want everybody to manifest how much they want to make every single month if you could. So drop in the comments how much you want to make, and I'm gonna teach you guys how to get to that number when it comes to your housing program, how you can get to that freedom number. Period. We got 8K in the chat, 10K, period, 7K, 25K. All right, Mahogany. We got 50K. All right, we got some heavy hitters in the chat, 10K a month, 8K a month. Easy work, 10K, light work. We got 12K on YouTube, 10K, 50K. All right. We got some heavy hitters. Shout out to Alexis. Alexis just got her spot to the webinar. I know that's right, Alexis. Shout out to you. Period. Now, all of the incomes that you guys are naming in the chat is attainable for you. Now, when it comes to how you're going to get to your freedom number as a housing program and starting your own housing program, you need to figure out how many beds it's going to take for you to get to your freedom number. And when I tell you guys that 10K is easy in this business, listen, y'all, I never made 6 figures in my life until I started my housing program. I was working a 9 to 5. I used to do Uber Eats, DoorDash, all that crazy stuff. It wasn't until I started my housing program and opened up one house, two houses that I was actually able to make 10K, over 10K months. Now, for everybody in the chat that said they want to make 10K months, let me show you guys how attainable it is to make 10K just as a housing program. Now, I'm going to give you guys an example of my very first house, and I still have the house to this day. Now, typically for your first house, I teach my students that you want to start out with a minimum of a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom. And why? Because you can get at least 8 beds in that house, minimum. Everybody type 8 in the chat. Everybody drop their 8s in the chat because remember, y'all, we get paid by the bed. I teach you guys how to turn beds into bread. We getting paid for these beds. So the more beds you have, the more money you can make, the more people you can help. But I'm not telling y'all to just stack people up to the ceiling and be weird. Still move with decency and still move with integrity, because we are dealing with a vulnerable population at the end of the day. So still move with decency and integrity. Now, if you're starting with at least a 4-2, you want to have a minimum of 8 people in your house for it to make sense for you. Now, if you're in an area where the cost of living is a little high and the most you can afford is maybe a 3-bedroom, well, with that 3-bedroom, you need to have a minimum of 6 people for it to make sense for you. So if you got it, drop got it in the chat, because we are doing shared rooms, y'all. If you got what I just said, drop got it in the chat. So if you got a 4-bedroom, that's 8 beds minimum. If you got a 3-bedroom, that's 6-bed minimum. If you got it, type got it, and I'm gonna keep going. I want to see that y'all understanding what I'm saying. What's the typical turnover? It depends on the population that you deal with. I don't have a high turnover rate. Now, if you housing them people that period, Tracy got it. I don't know if they saying, is my comment stuck on TikTok? Because I don't see y'all saying nothing. Can y'all type got it in the chat so I can keep going? I don't know if my comments are stuck. But somebody asked about turnover rate. If you house in transitional population, there's going to be high turnover. I don't teach my students to fill up their houses with that type of demographic. So I don't have to deal with crazy turnover. I might get a move out every 2 months. So that's why you need to know how to properly have the right people in your house. Period. 8. Got it. Now, let me give you guys a real life example. Now, my very first house, I still have that house right now, and that house is doing so amazing. I signed a lease on this house back in 2021, and I still have it. Now, for my house, it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and I put 8 shared beds in there. I have a total of 9 beds in that house, right? And I'm gonna break it down for y'all why I have 9 beds, because one of the rooms was too small to put 2 twin beds. Now, in the house that you choose, the rooms need to be big enough to put at least 2 twin beds in that house. If not, it's not going to be worth your time. It really isn't. You might as well pack it up. As long as the rooms are big enough to put a minimum of two twin beds in there, you're doing good. And it's comfortable for them. Like, you don't want it to be like a tight squeeze. You don't want people sitting on top of each other. So, and I don't tell y'all to use bunk beds. Don't do that. Don't be sitting there putting these old people in no bunk beds. That's messed up. We don't do that on this channel, y'all. We treat them good. And when I tell y'all, when you do certain stuff in your housing program, it helps you keep your beds filled longer. Somebody was asking about turnover. If you're just doing this business for the money, I guarantee you that they're going to know that you're just doing it for the money, and you're not going to have beds filled. You're not going to have beds filled. So when people start thinking about dollar signs and they thinking about bunk beds, do you think people are going to want to stay in a bunk bed for long term? They're not. The people that they're going to be trying to get out that bunk bed so fast to go to the next spot. That's why when I tell y'all, these twin beds are good enough for them. Twin beds are good enough, because in the shelter, they sleeping on little thin mats like this. So you're actually doing them a great thing, providing them these twin beds. Now, if you want a revolving door, then go ahead and set you up some bunk beds. And I guarantee you, you're going to be working extra hard trying to keep them beds filled every single month. Nobody is going to want to stay in a place where there's bunk beds. Like, ew. Like, be so for real. So that's why I teach you guys, when these people come into our housing programs and they come into our homes, y'all, they become like family. You want to create a community like environment for them. We get paid for housing, but once they come into your doors, it becomes family. A lot of and I didn't realize until I got started with my housing program, a lot of the people that I house, they have no family. They have no support system. They have no children. I didn't realize how many seniors are old in age and they have no children. So where does that leave them? That's why when they come into your housing programs, that become all the family that they have. So honestly, y'all, what we doing is bigger than housing. We actually pouring back into these people's lives and giving them a community like living space. So that's what you're doing for these people. Now, when you put a minimum of 2 people in one room, of course, you're going to maximize your impact and your profit. Now, let's get back to the numbers. So my very first house, a lot of you guys say you want to make 10K months, right? So I'm going to show you how you can get to 10K months in this business, but you need to know how many beds it's going to take for you to get to your freedom number. Now, my very first house, y'all, I had 8 beds at $750 a month. That's what I charge in Atlanta. So that one house, it brings me in $6K a month. However, I got one more bed that I made it a private room because it was just too small to put 2 beds in there, so I had to make it a private room, and I charged that person 1,000 for that bed. So let's add that into the equation. So we have a total of 9 beds in this house. That's a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Now, this house, every single month, y'all, it brings me in 7K a month. Everybody drop 7K in the chat. Drop 7K in the chat. And this is money that I did not have to slave over. All I had to do was set up my house one time, keep my beds filled with the right demographics, and I'm getting this 7K every single month. I didn't have to Uber Eats. I ain't had to DoorDash. I ain't had to sit up here and sling no Amazon packages. I didn't have to go to a job I hated. All I had to do was set up a house one time, fill it with the right people, and this money is coming in every single month like clockwork. 7K, a lot of y'all not making this at y'all 9 to 5, and a lot of y'all not making this. So this could do you some good. And I'm gonna get into the expenses so you can know the real numbers. But even then, like I said, a lot of y'all not even seeing 7K at your 9 to 5. And if you are, you probably working crazy hours and overworked and underpaid. This is money that's flowing in effortlessly every single month, y'all. Just from you setting up your house one time. And mind you, I don't own this house. I rent it with permission. So if you don't own a property, that ain't stopping nothing. Long as you got permission to rent, you got permission to run it up. Run it up in the chat, because that's what we doing. Run it up in the chat, because that's that's what we doing. Run it up in the chat. Heavy on that. Hello? Don't mind me, y'all. I'm silly. But we running it up, and guess what? We doing it with a purpose. We doing it, and we not scamming nobody. We not scheming nobody. We actually helping these people creating family-like environments, pouring into them, making them feel seen and cared for. And let me tell y'all why I don't have a crazy turnover rate with my homes, right? With my housing program. And this is why I'm able to run it up every single month and not have people leaving like clockwork. Number one, I treat my people like family. When it's their birthdays, guess what? I'm sending a birthday cake to the house. I'm sending the flowers. We putting out the happy birthday sign in the yard. We actually make people feel seen. A lot of people, y'all, they never had nobody acknowledge their birthday. Some of these people told me I've never had a birthday cake, and I'm like 67. I'm like, wow, nobody ever gave you a cake before? So we really impacting and changing lives for these people. So at this point, it's bigger than housing. And when you overly pour into these people, guess what? They never going to want to leave you. That's what the difference is. And a lot of y'all be like, what about competition? What about competition? When you set yourself apart with your housing program and you make these people feel seen, cared for, they are never going to want to leave you. They are never going to want to leave you. So that's what I teach my students, how to set these housing programs up the right way. We building community. We're building safe and structured living for them where they never want to leave, because guess what? They ain't going to find this nowhere else. They're going to be staying at the trap house, and them people are selling all type of crazy stuff in and out. They're not going to find this nowhere else. So when you set your housing program apart, that's what the difference is. So this is real impact work, y'all. Like, it's bigger than money. Yeah, we getting paid for what we do, and it's amazing, but it's bigger than the money. And that's why I tell y'all, when you focus on pouring into people and making people feel seen and cared for, they will never leave you, and you will never lack money ever. And that's in any business. So when you focus on providing a solution and giving them a service that they can't find nowhere else, you ain't going to worry about no turnover rate, because it's not happening like that. Listen, y'all, the only time I lose people, or the only time I get rid of people is when they don't follow my rules and they don't pay. So that's the only time I'm kicking people. It's not because they willingly want to leave. It's because either I put them out and say, hey, you got to go. You're not following the rules. You got to leave, or they not paying. But it's never an issue of them like, oh, I don't want to be here no more. So it's like, and one of my guys, his name is Mr. Randy. Mr. Randy is a veteran. Mr. Randy was like, the only way I'm leaving this house is in a body bag. And he's 72. Well, he's 70 years old. So that should tell y'all something. When you overly pouring into these people and you creating safe and structured places for them that feel comfortable, they never want to leave you. And that's a veteran. That money is every single month. And Mr. Randy paid me up 6 months in advance. So that should tell you something. That's why I tell you guys, one house, you setting up one house and getting 7K every month, this is life changing for a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all not making this at your 9 to 5. Imagine you setting up 2 of these houses and getting 14K a month. That could change a lot of y'all situations. Money that you ain't got to slave for. You ain't got to sit here and stress yourself out. This is you setting up a house one time, keeping them beds filled with the right people and collecting your money every single month like clockwork, and making sure that, you know, people are seen and cared for, and that everything is running smoothly. Now let's get into the expenses, right? Because I want you guys to know what you're going to be getting taken after you pay all your bills. So for this house here, this is one of my very first house I started with, y'all. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom. So just to give you some perspective. So I'm getting $7K a month from this 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Now, you might be thinking, what about rent? My rent for this house, y'all, is only $1,850. So let's take out $1,850. Let's take out $1,850. So after we pay the rent, I'm left with $5,150. Like I said, y'all, this is still good. A lot of y'all still not seeing this at y'all 9 to 5. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. An extra $5K that you did not have to slave over, and you ain't have to stand on your feet as a cashier. You ain't had to sling an Amazon package. You ain't have to do Uber Eats nobody or DoorDash nobody. This is amazing. Now, typically for my students, I tell my students to budget anywhere between $500 to $800 for utilities. Now for this house here, my utilities never go over $500. It'd be at like $430 for something every single month. And that's with everything included, like lights, internet, water, gas, insurance, all that type of stuff. So that's everything included. My bills never hit like 500. However, for the sake of the example, I'm just going to take out 500 in case you guys run a location and the utilities are kind of high. Now, after we pay all of our bills, we are left with $4,650 in profit. Everybody type 4K in the chat. This is some good money, y'all. This is some good money. Like I said, a lot of y'all, and this is just you setting up a house one time, and you getting this money every single month like clockwork. And one of my students said she opened up her first house and she cash flowing over 4K a month. So that should tell y'all something. We talking about making effortless money that you ain't got to sit here and slave for. I don't have to be shackled to my houses for this 4K, y'all. I live my life. I get on the plane, I travel, and guess what? My houses run itself. That's why I teach you guys to house a certain demographic where they're not going to be demanding over your time. When you focus on housing a house full of independent adults, you ain't got to sit here and babysit nobody. This is 4K that come in every single month effortlessly. Effortlessly. So for y'all that's in the chat that was saying, oh, I want to make 10K months. All you have to do is find out how many beds it's going to take for you to get to that number. So let's say that you have 16 beds. 16 beds times 750, because that's my price. That's my bed price in Atlanta. So let's say 16 beds times 750. That is 12K a month that you bringing in every single month. Like I said, y'all, a lot of y'all are not making this at y'all 9 to 5. And 12K for 16 beds, y'all, that's just 2 houses, honestly. And 2 houses, you can manage that with ease. I currently have 6 houses, but everybody don't need 6 houses. I'm an overachiever, so I like to live a certain type of lifestyle, so I'm gonna always shoot big. But a lot of people, like some of y'all, only thing y'all need is an extra 5K, 8K, and really 2 houses can do that for you. You don't have to sit here and have 30 houses. But here's the thing. If you want to have 30 houses, ain't nobody going to stop you. Can't nobody clock my tea. I always tell people, if I want to, and that's what I love about independent housing. And that's why I'm so passionate about teaching you guys this business model, because if you want to, you being an entrepreneur and starting a housing program, if I tell myself I want to go out there and open up 10 houses, who going to stop me? Nobody. Ain't nobody stopping me. Because guess what? We not regulated by the city. Can nobody come and say, oh, no, you can't have 10 houses. You can only have 3. You can only have 2. Nobody's doing that. This ain't no group home, y'all. Ain't nobody clocking RT. As long as you focus on offering safe and structured housing to independent adults, nobody's clocking your T. I'm not telling y'all to house a bunch of teenagers. I'm not telling you to house women and children. I'm not telling you to house people that need 24-hour care. When you're housing independent adults, nobody's coming to clock you. These people are paying you every single month and they getting on. That's it. There's nothing illegal about providing safe housing to people in need. And a lot of y'all still be on this internet tomorrow. Oh, I got to call zoning. What are you calling zoning for? I give y'all the blueprint in my program. I tell you what to say. I tell you what to do. I tell you how to operate. And you still want to sit here and listen to other stuff you hear on the internet. I'm not teaching y'all something that I don't do. I'm doing this business in real life right now. 6 houses and 49 beds. I did not get her overnight. I stayed down for my come up. I took my bumps and my bruises, but I know something. So you can't come in my comments about some, oh, well, the city told me this. Okay, well, then that's you. But I know it's working for me and mine. Me and my students, we rented it up to the top with no zoning, no license, no none of that. Keisha, just send me your email and I'll resend it. So yeah, we running it up. Nobody can clock your tea. If you want to sit here and open up 10 houses, who gonna stop you? Nobody. Everybody drop nobody in the chat. Drop nobody in the chat. Can nobody stop you? Can nobody clock my tea? And that's what I be telling y'all. This is your business. You could take independent housing as far as you want to take it. As far as you want to take it. Nobody's gonna sit here and say, oh no, you can't have this. Ain't no 9 to 5. This is your stuff. This is your stuff. Can't nobody tell you what to do. And that's why I love entrepreneurship. Can't nobody clock my tea. Can't nobody clock my tea. I love that for me. Ain't no man going to tell me, oh, you only get this much every month. No, I built my own life. I built my own income. That's why I'm so passionate about teaching the girlies and other people how you can build the life of your dreams, but you have to build something called a business, y'all. And the business that did it for me was independent housing. Independent housing is what really turned me up. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. But you have to find one business, stick to that one business, be successful, and then use that money and reinvest it to other things. And that's why I tell people, a lot of y'all don't know how attainable financial freedom is for you through this business. Y'all still be thinking y'all got to open up group homes. Oh, I want to open up a group home. For what? Why would you going to sit here and put yourself through all that stress? It's going to take you about 10 years to open it up. Some of y'all ain't never going to have 40K in the bank. So why would you even do that to yourself? Why? When you can open up a housing program that anybody could start. You could be a hole in the wall and start you a housing program. Who's going to clock your tea? Nobody. Who's going to clock your tea? Be in the hole? Nobody. So that's what I'm trying to teach you guys. If you want to build the life of your dreams, you want to build real wealth, you have to start a business. Nobody's coming to save you. That 9 to 5 is not going to give you financial freedom. A business is, though. And the business that did it for me, y'all, was independent housing. And I tell y'all, one house changed my entire life. But when I had my one house, I used to do DoorDash, Uber Eats, all these other side gigs. And I didn't realize until I couldn't work anymore because I was going through grief. And I couldn't get out there and Uber Eats and DoorDash. But when I was actually looking at my bank account, and I was like, I was still able to pay my rent. I was still able to pay my bills off of just one house, y'all. This is off of just one house. I was able to live life without having to trade my time for money, without having to clock in. And that's why I'm so passionate about teaching you guys. Anybody can win in independent housing. Anybody. I am not a nurse. I am not a CNA. I am just a baddie with a business mind and a heart that love to help people. And I found a way to get paid for it. So that's why I get on these platforms every single night and teach you guys how you can set these up in your cities and in your states, because there's no excuse for you not to be making 10K months. I just gave you the entire blueprint, but what you going to do with it? Now, you might be in the chat, well, Lane, how can I learn this model? How can I learn up under you? If you want to learn how you can start this business from the queen, you want to learn my method that's tried and true, the method that has helped so many of my students open up 2, 3, 4 houses in multiple states, drop me in the chat. Drop me in the chat. And I'm going to see if I got something for y'all tonight. Drop me in the chat. Patty said, I'm at work now doing 12 hours. Wow, Patty. Are you a nurse, Patty? That's crazy. So that's what I'm trying to teach y'all. Start you a business to where if you eventually want to walk out of that job, guess what? Your housing can hold you up. That's what did it for me. My housing program really changed my life, y'all. And a lot of y'all be seeing my content and you're like, wow, I want to do that. You can do it. What's stopping you besides your fear? You have to take a risk, bet on yourself, and just do it. You will not know it until you try. A lot of y'all be scared, but what you got to lose? You miserable at the job. That's how I was, y'all. Like, I had nothing to lose. Like, what I got to lose? I might as well set it up and see if it worked. So for the ones that said me in the chat, so here's the thing, y'all. So I currently have a live class that is happening called the Bed to Bread webinar. It's going to be April 25th. It's a live Zoom class teaching you guys step by step how to set up your very own housing program in any city, in any state. It's the proven method that has gotten myself, not only myself, but so many of my students success in this business through starting their own housing program. I don't care what your background is. I don't care how many years in prison you did. I don't care if you don't have own property. I don't care if your credit is bad. As long as you have a business mind and a heart that's genuinely wanting to help people, I can take you to the top. But you're going to have to become a student, learn up under me, put the work in, and stay down for your come up. So I currently have my webinar that you guys need to sign up for. It is a paid webinar and it's April the 25th. It's called Bed to Bread. It is currently on sale. However, if you one of them people that's like, well, I don't want to wait till April 25th. I'm excited. I'm ready to start right now. If you want to start right now, I added my housing bundle that my current students have used that has taken them up to open up 2, 3, 4 houses. So that bundle, you can add that bundle at checkout. And it's a video that's almost 3 hours long. It's a master class that I already recorded last year. But this new class, I'm including some new stuff because I didn't teach a live class since last year. So if you're in this chat and you want to become a student, you want to learn how to start your very own housing program, you need to be signing up for my Bed to Bread webinar. And here's the thing. For the first two people that sign up, they're going to get a free 30-minute coaching call with me. Now, let me show you guys how to sign up and how to become a student. I'm going to show you how to sign up and how to become a student. And in order to get the free coaching call with me, you have to have the bundle at checkout. So you can't just get the webinar by itself. You have to get the webinar and the bundle, which is the video that teaches you step by step. Now, if we are in the FB group and a student already, do we sign up? So you don't have to, but I will be talking about some new things that I didn't cover in my other webinar. So if you want to join, you still can, absolutely, but you don't have to. It's going to be similar material, but I'm going to tweak some different sections and add some more stuff. So here's what we're going to do, y'all. So I currently put it on sale for 5 minutes, the webinar. And if you are wanting to learn right now, you don't want to wait till April 25th, you have to add the bundle at checkout. And then for the first two people that come back and say, got it, those are going to be, you have to get the bundle and the webinar and you get a free coaching call with me. However, everybody that gets the bundle at checkout, you will get ongoing support inside of our exclusive FB community. So even if it's after the two people, I don't know if anybody got it yet, but let me show you guys how to get it. And I'm about to put it on sale. Well, it's already on sale. I just put it on sale. Now on TikTok, on YouTube is in the drop down video. It's in the drop down description of this video. If you're on TikTok, what you're going to do, you're going to click on this picture up here. And when you click on this picture, my profile is going to pop up right there. Click on that, click on my picture, and it's going to take you to my page. Once you get to my page where it says Stan Store, click right there. And it's currently on sale right here, Bed to Bread webinar. This is what's going to teach you guys step by step how to open up your own housing program in any city, in any state. This is a live class that I'm doing on Zoom. So, and we also have Klarna and Afterpay at checkout, y'all. So you can definitely use the payment plan option. Now, if you want to get the bundle and you don't want to wait till April 25th and you want to get started today on starting your housing program, you're going to click this option at checkout. You're going to add the bundle to checkout. And this is the bundle that my students already have that's been getting them success. So if you want to start right now, you don't want to wait, add this bundle to your checkout. And then the first two people that get it, come back and say, got it. And you're going to get a free coaching call with me, but it's only for the first two. And then when you want to use Klarna and Afterpay, you're going to hit this button here and you're going to hit either Klarna or Afterpay. Now, I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes, it's going to go back up. Hey, Siri, set alarm for 5 minutes. Melissa said, I can only afford the bundle in class now. That's fine, Melissa. And we do have Klarna and Afterpay, so it'll break it up into payments for you. One of my top students, her name is Majesty. Oh, if you're on FB, the link should be in this live stream. If it's not in this live stream, what you're going to do, you're going to go to my page. Let me show you. You're going to go to my page. And then it's right here. The link is right here at the top of my page. So click on that and it's going to say Bed to Bread webinar. Yeah, I'm going to be retiring my housing program. I will no longer be teaching housing in my bio. So this is the time. This is my last live class. So this is the time to sign up and learn from the queen and learn how I've been birthing so many success stories out of my students, because this is the end. This is the end, y'all. I've officially made 1 year of teaching independent housing online, March 21st. So this is kind of like my farewell. So this is my last bang. So you might want to take advantage, because don't inbox me next month saying, "Oh, do you still sell a housing bundle?" Nope, I moved on to my next phase. I'm on the bigger and better things. Even though I'm gonna still have my housing programs making me money, because why would I give that up? That's easy money every single month. I just won't be on here teaching y'all about housing no more. I'm gonna be on to my next thing. I'm building other businesses, so that's what I'm gonna focus on. If you are a student already, should we get the class too, or is it included with the bundle? So if you're a student already, you don't have to, but if you want to learn the new information, you could, because I'm gonna be covering some different things. So you're definitely welcome to if you want to, but it's not required, because I'm gonna be going over similar things, but I'm gonna tweak some information because this is a new class. So, Lane, quick question: do you have to have housing already set to start? No, Dana. I have students. Listen, some of my students, I have students that have gotten my program and they get paid without having a house. You definitely can get paid as long as you connect somebody else to housing. You can get paid for that. So there's so many ways to get paid in this business. You don't have to have a house. A house is really not stopping nothing, y'all. So even if you don't have house, if you got that mouthpiece on you and you know how to build relationships and you know how to network, you can still make money without having a house. And a lot of people be thinking that, oh, I got to have a house. No, you don't. Some people, they just enjoy connecting other people to houses and getting that money, getting that kickback fee for helping them. So, yeah. How what? How what? You got to be my student for that sauce. I don't get that out for free. You're going to have to join the webinar, get that bundle, and join my community. So for the first person, oh, wait, let me set my timer. Hey, Siri, set alarm for 5 minutes. Hey, Siri, set alarm for 5 minutes. The first 2 people that get their bundle in their webinar, you get a free coaching call. I ain't seen nobody say got it yet. I don't know if anybody got it yet. But for the first 2 people that got it, that's them. And then once you invest in the bundle at checkout, you get ongoing support through our exclusive FB community as well, y'all. So that's where we host our free monthly meetings. So even if you're just getting started on your journey, you can come into those virtual meetings and ask your questions. You can get coached. You can ask me questions. I honestly give it to y'all real, raw, and uncut inside that community. Like questions that I wouldn't answer on these live stream platforms because people are weird and people be screen recording stuff. I would never give out that information on these live platforms, but inside the community, y'all, is really family. We got students from all over. I really overly pour into them. Like we be talking about how to get rid of people, how to evict. Well, we don't do eviction, but I teach them how to get rid of people if they run into a situation. I teach them different ways to maneuver in the business because guess what? I'm in it. If I get the webinar but can't attend, is there a replay for me? So if you want the replay, you have to add the bundle at checkout. So that's only for the live class. So if you do want a replay, I highly recommend you upgrade to the bundle. That bundle is a replay and the forms that I teach all my students that take my program. So, and you have access to that for life. It never expires. So that's what I'm telling you. If you want to attend a class and you can't, you have to add the replay in order to get the replay. I don't have any social media platforms besides YouTube. How to be watch your live? You have to create one. Listen, I have a lot of students that never had Facebook, but they got it just for the group. When I tell y'all the group is so valuable, let me show you. Let me show you. We got students in there. We got students in there that be, let me show you. That be doing their biggest one. They be posting their camera footage when people be doing crazy stuff in the house. Like this group is so valuable, y'all. Like we really changing lives. One of my students, she just got her beds filled. She get them a gift basket. It's so amazing inside this community. And this is where you need to be. And that's why I tell you, once you become a student of mine, what's going to really take you to your next level is joining the group, join the FB group, because that's where you get support on your journey. You can't do this business by yourself. When I tell you, you're going to run into situations, because even me as a housing provider myself, I always run into situations every day. And I have people that I can brainstorm with, like, hey, what you think I should do with this person? I caught this person doing this. How should I handle it? That's what we do in the group, y'all. That's what we do. We provide support, feedback. You're not doing life alone. You're not doing a business alone. So you need that piece. You can't sit here and figure out everything by yourself. And it's honestly, it's free. It comes with your purchase of the bundle. So why would you not take advantage of that? Honestly, you can't beat that for me. I have the replay, but not the forms. Do you not? So I took the forms out, but if you want the forms separately, just DM me and then I could send you a separate link because I took them out my storefront. I'm only promoting the Bed to Bread webinar currently because as I tell you, I'm taking everything out my bio. So this is my last time teaching independent housing. How do I join the group? So for the people that is getting their replay, this is how you join the group. So you have to go on FB and type independent housing community and put the email you purchased with to be approved. That's the only way to join. You have to be a student. This is not a free situation. This is not a free situation. So Coco, you have to physically go to type in independent housing community on FB. This is the icon and put the email that you purchased with to be approved. If there's anybody that want to become a student and learn how to start their own housing program and want me to show you how to become a student, drop me in the chat because I'm about to go. Let me see. We got 1 minute on the clock. If there's anybody else that want to sign up for the webinar and get started on their housing journey and get the bundle, drop me in the chat and I'll show you how to do it. But I'm about to go because ain't nobody saying nothing. All right. So here's what you're going to do. On TikTok, what we're going to do, you're going to go click on this picture right up here. Once you click on this picture, another box is going to pop up. Hit my face again. And when you hit my face, you're going to go to where it says Stan Store. Click this right here. And it's the very first one, Bed to Bread. Now, if you want to start right now, this is for the webinar April 25th. If you want to start immediately and get the video to get started, add the bundle to checkout. This is the current bundle that all of my students are getting that they already have because I no longer offer this by itself. So this is your last chance to become a student through this bundle. This bundle is me teaching a masterclass step by step, how to set up in any city and state, how to find the clients for your housing, how to talk to landlords and property management company. All of that is in this bundle on top of the forms that I use to run my housing program successfully. And then we also have Klarna and Afterpay, y'all. So if you want to break it down into payment plans, you would click on this drop down right here. Click on the drop down and it'll break it up into installments for you. It might be like $60, $80 today, and then you'll break it up into payments of 4. Now, if you're on YouTube, if you hit the drop down button inside of this chat, it should say Bed to Bread webinar. Click on that. That's the only way to become a student, y'all. I will no longer be teaching housing after my class is over with, and that's April 25th. So if you want to join the winning team and learn from the best in the business, you might want to tap in because it won't always be here. I'm definitely going to be retiring and moving to my other ventures because I'm building other businesses. Sandra said me. So the link should be in this chat, y'all. If you want FB, it should be in this chat right here. If not, go to my page. Let me show you. You're going to go to my profile on my page and you're going to click the LINK right here. Right here. And then that's going to open up my Stan Store. It says Bed to Bread. If you want to start today, get that bundle with it because the bundle is going to come straight to your email and you can watch it immediately and get started on your housing journey. And once you get the bundle, come back and say, got it, so I can show you how to join the FB community. That's where you're going to get your ongoing support. Are the other businesses going to be with housing? Nope, it's something completely different. Something completely different. So, I don't have FB. Well, you're just gonna miss out on a live meeting. So our next meeting inside the community. So for everybody that joined and become a student, our next meetup is, let me show y'all. Our next meetup is April the 14th. So you get to come on, even after you watch your video, you get to come on, ask your questions, and find the other students that are in your area. Because we got students from all across the US, honestly. We got students from all across the US. So I'm waiting to get approved. As soon as I get off of here, I'm gonna let everybody in. I'm letting everybody in as soon as I get off of here. Now, all right, timer is up. Is there anybody else that want to become a student today? Drop me in the chat because I'm about to head out. I got work to do tonight. So, but yeah, shout out to y'all for being on the live stream tonight. Welcome to all my action takers, all my heavy hitters, everybody that invested in themselves tonight and did their biggest one. Shout out to you. Welcome to the winning team. All my students be winning, and I love that for them because guess what? They learn from the best in the business, so they can't lose. They cannot lose. Melissa said me. Melissa, if you click the link down here. It should do it. Now for TikTok, what you're going to do, you're going to click on my profile picture right up here. Once you click on my profile picture, another box is going to pop up. Click on my face again. When you click on my face, it's going to take you to my page. Hold on. It's going to take you to my page. And when I get off of here, y'all, the price is going back up. So once you get to my page, you're going to click where it says Stan Store right underneath my email. Wait. Oh, my Lord. You're going to hit Stan Store. And once you hit Stan Store, it's the very first one, Bed to Bread. Now, if you want to get started today and you don't want to wait till April 25th, add the bundle at checkout. This is going to come straight to your email. And make sure you guys type the right email in the chat because, I mean, not in the chat, but in the checkout, because that's where it's going to send your digital download. And if you want to use the Klarna and Afterpay, what you're going to do, you're going to hit this. And you're going to do either Klarna or Afterpay. Once you get it, come back and say, got it. Once you get it and come back and say, got it. And I'm going to show you guys how to join the exclusive FB community where you can ask your questions and get ongoing support on your journey. Can I just get the bundle in the class? Yes, Naya, it's currently available. Look, let me show you. On YouTube, what you're going to do, you're going to click on the drop-down description of this video. And it should be linked in that. And once you see that, it's going to look like this. Bed to Bread webinar. Click this and get your spot. And then at checkout, add your bundle. Add your bundle. And then you check out. And if you want to use Klarna and Afterpay, hit that. It's going to break it up into installments for you. But that's what's going to do it for you. But when I get off of here, y'all, the price is going back up. So that's why I'm telling y'all to get it now. Because when I stop offering this, it's coming out my storefront altogether. So, but yeah, I did get it on the March 19th. Okay, Patty, shout out to you. Shout out to Patty for being an action taker and being a student. Heavy on that, period. So shout out to y'all. If you want to get started now, you don't want to wait till the webinar, you have to add the bundle at checkout. You have to add the bundle at checkout. But shout out to all my action takers in the chat, all my trophies that's doing their biggest one. Welcome to the winning team. It's to the top for you because all my students be winning in real life. Make sure you stay down for your come up, put the work in, and stay connected to the FB community because that's what's going to really take you to your next level. If you need help, drop it in the group, drop it in, and make sure you attend the free monthly meetups because that's what's really going to help you on your journey for real. So, but yeah, I click on the bundle. But it's showing me the webinar cost. So yeah, it will. So you have to add it. Let me show you. So when you click on it, it's going to look like this. And then you have to add this. You have to check the box to add the bundle. So that way you can get started today. And then you just fill this out. If you want to use Klarna and Afterpay, you do this. And then that's what's going to close everything out. But yeah. But shout out to y'all for being on tonight. Hope I left you guys inspired, motivated to take action, create the life of your dreams through starting a housing program. Because honestly, y'all, starting a housing program is what gave me my dream life. I don't have to clock into no 9 to 5 as long as I live. I don't have to sit and wait for no man to sponsor my life because guess what? I created something that takes care of me, that pays me every single month like clockwork without me having to trade my time for money, without me having to slave on my feet all day, without me having to sit up here and be overworked and underpaid, without having to sling an Amazon package. So I love it here. So that's why I'm making my mission to create more impactful earners, more impactful CEOs. You can live the life of your dreams, but you have to go out there and build something. And what did it for me, y'all, was a housing program. So that's why I teach you guys how simple and how attainable financial freedom is for you once you start a housing program. But shout out to all my action takers tonight that joined the winning team. Make sure you guys join the FB community so you can get your ongoing support on your journey. And you can't get the I don't want the webinar, only with the bundle in the class. That's the only way to get it. I took it out. My last day offering the bundle was March 31st. So that's what happened when you take your time. I've been telling people I'm retiring the bundle, and next I'm going to be retiring everything. So you might want to take advantage because it's not going to be there much longer. But Success loves speed. And I know one thing about me, if it's anything I want to do, I'm not about to sit here and drag my feet because people change their mind every day. If I wake up tomorrow and say that I want to take all this stuff out my bio and not talk about housing another day in my life, guess what? Who gonna clock my tea? Nobody. So that's why when people offer you things and present an opportunity to you, you need to take action. Take action because it might not be available tomorrow. And that's just that on that. Y'all be waiting and dragging y'all feet. People that have real wealth and that's successful, they take action. They don't sit here and overthink. I didn't make it in life about overthinking. I just got the material, started putting action into work. And now I got 6 houses and 49 beds, living the life of my dreams, financially free because I take action. Even I have mentors that mentor me. When they tell me to do something, y'all think I sit here and be twiddling my thumbs? No, I take action every single day. I don't get the life of my dreams by twiddling my thumbs and waiting and overthinking. You have to move. Even if you scared, do it scared. Do it scared. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I hope I left you inspired, motivated. I will see you guys next time. Have a good night. Love y'all.